The governance system in Uganda remains an unresolved delicate political issue which frequently ends up with aggressive demands for return to the 1962 political dispensation. Before independence, an agreement was struck at the Lancaster House constitutional negotiations in London to accord Buganda full federal status.
During the colonial days, Buganda had been given a special status by the colonialists as opposed. Buganda was a province and given with the Kabaka and Irukiko and all that stuff.
It was unlike Toro, Bunyoro, Ankole and Busoga by extension, which were accorded semi-federal status with the rest of what were called unitary districts governed through the central government. Buganda, by implication, afforded a great level of autonomy worth of a self-governing state. Through its Luchiko, Uganda indirectly voted for its 21 representatives to the national parliament, unlike Bunyoro, Toro and Ankole and the unitary districts of Uganda who had to endure adult suffrage elections. The kingdom also operated a court system governed under the Uganda Court Ordinance with its own high court. It possessed autonomy over half of the land in its territory. The political dispensation under parliamentary system was such that the traditional leaders from the respective kingdoms would become the presidents and, on the other hand, prime minister. Following the 1963 constitutional amendment, Sir Edward Mutesa Walugembe Lwangula II became the first president of Uganda, deputized by the Kyabazinga Busoga, Sir William Wilberforce Kadumbula Nadiope III.
One was by Lord Master. He concluded that it was not good for Buganda to claim its independence solely. It was necessary for a federal system of government to come in to enable Buganda to retain its autonomy while working with the rest of the regions.
However, in 1966, Milton Apollo Obore, an executive prime minister, abrogated the constitution, altering the political system. 1 year after the exiling of Mutesa, Obore declared himself the president and centered all the powers around him. Obore also abolished the kingdoms, and it would be until 1993 when they were restored by the National Resistance Movement government, albeit with their powers restricted to cultural roles. An opportunity to settle the governance question presented itself when a constitutional commission was constituted in 1989 to carry out consultations on a new constitution. The demand for a federal system was stronger in Buganda.
According to the records of Justice Odoki and Professor Sempeba, who carried out 2 respective constitutional review commissions, it is on record that the finding indicating federalism demand at national level attracted 65% in documentation against 97% from Buganda itself. So there is already evidence strong enough to back up federal governance.
The Buganda, for them, they were driven by their kingdom. Kingdom, monarchy. The issues of monarchy were all discussed. I'm telling you, the only group that demanded the kingdom that time was the Buganda.
Buganda's strong desire to return to its independent status acted against its desires in the context of the larger Uganda.
The majority of people in Uganda wouldn't even want to mention federalism because it raised suspicions about special status.
The commission members said the population was comfortable with the decentralized system of governance. They, in the final report, recommended the adoption of a unitary government with a strong decentralized system.
When views came up, you could clearly see that people were anxious to have a system of dispersal of governmental powers to local government units. People were now weary and tired of a centralized system.
In fact, the one which told us about a kingdom was Mbari. And we told them, why do you want? They wanted it to be a kingdom. We said, but you have never been a kingdom. Why do you want a kingdom? And their excuse is the one which made us to provide for decentralization, because they told us, look, we have our good coffee, we make our good coffee, and then they go and take it and we gain nothing from it. Why shouldn't we get our money and resources also from our coffee? So we said, oh, this is a matter of decentralization. They did not necessarily want a king.
Sempebwa upholds the decision to adopt the decentralized system of governance, though with reservations. He urged that it was unattainable for only Buganda to hold the special federal status.
I was happy about that arrangement. I was, as in Uganda, I was sympathetic to the cause of Uganda.
In the next part of this story, we focus on why the Constituent Assembly agreed with the Constitutional Commission to move away from the call for federalism, and why the alternative of the regional tier, as proposed in the Constitution, has never been implemented. Jackson Onyango, NTV.